Things are good. It's anytime you can start harvest in shorts and a t-shirt, it's not bad.
This podcast is sponsored by Release Winery. Every wine tells a story. Each growing season, it's our goal to create an artisan Napa Valley wine of exceptional quality. Join us as the story of this ultra-limited wine continues. Learn more at releasewinery.com.
We began in 2003. My wife and I bought that piece of land we call our Coast Range Estate. Like a lot of wines, we were just going to grow fruit. We were going to do 5 acres at a time. And that plan kind of went out the window in 2 or 3 years, and we had planted the whole thing, and we bought this piece of land here at Ribbon Ridge, and by 2007 we had built a winery and left our jobs and went full-time with this. Yeah, very scary. We had our kid, but it was really important. My wife and I wanted to start Trisaetum while our kids were just starting grade school. We didn't want... It was important to kind of get to Oregon, get to our final kind of place where we wanted to raise our children. And so that meant leaving corporate America and leaving our jobs and starting this. And, it bootstrapped it from the beginning, but, knock on wood, so far it's worked out. My wife and I actually met in graduate school getting our MBAs. So we both have business degrees. And I worked in healthcare, and she worked in consulting. And once we had our children, Tristan and Tatum, the winery is named after our children, so Trisaetum is Tris and Atum, Trisaetum. My wife Andrea left her role in consulting to raise our kids. I stayed in healthcare until we decided to buy this piece of land in Oregon and plant a vineyard and start Trisaetum. So. At Trisaetum, we have a sparkling program, which I named after my grandmother, called Peishi. So we make 5 different sparkling wines a year. And then our still program, we make Pinot Noir, we make Riesling, and we make Chardonnay. So we have a Brut Rosé. We do single vineyard Blanc de Blanc. So I do a single vineyard Blanc de Blanc from Ribbon Ridge, the vineyard here. I do one from my home vineyard, which is our Coast Range Estate. And then we do what we call an Estates Cuvée, which is a combination of both vineyards, mostly Pinot Noir based with just a little bit of Chardonnay. We have 17 acres planted. We own 40 acres here at the winery site, but we only planted 17. At our home site, our Coast Range vineyard, we have 22 acres planted. We own about 50 acres. So in both of our main vineyards, we kept more than 50% of the land in the natural habitat, which I think was important for us. I think the beginning it was the economics. Can we pull this off? It's not an inexpensive endeavor to plant a vineyard and build a winery. And so at the beginning it was like, I think we can plant 5 acres a year and sell fruit. And we just decided if we're going to do it, let's really do it. And so, yeah, it's much more exciting to make the wine instead of just growing the fruit. And so it's also, more challenging and scarier. But it's just kind of what we decided to do. And again, so far it's worked out. Our first vintage here was 2007. So this is actually our 13th vintage now at the winery. And the winery is an amalgam of probably 15 other Oregon wineries. One of the things about Oregon is it's a very collaborative, collegial kind of winemaking community. So when I was drawing up blueprints for this winery, I went to 15 other wineries, and those winemakers were very gracious, opened up their doors, let me ask any question I want, so my neighbors, Beaufrere and Brick House, but, Dundee wineries like Archery Summit and Domaine Serene and Domaine Drouin, and we saw a lot of these really wonderful wineries, and we kind of asked questions of what's the one thing you can't live without, what's the one thing you wish you would have never spent money on, and you do that enough, you end up with, and so if you walk around this winery, it's like 15, there's parts of it in 15 other wineries right now here in Oregon. So even though it's our 13th vintage, 90% of it I would build exactly the same way. You only have so much money to spend, right? You have a budget, and so you really need to, what's the most important thing, and what's just something that from a value perspective isn't worth the money.